Uh, we want to discuss the Win and Wear project, because Win and Wear project, as you know, $20 goes. We're talking about charities and how they're misspending money, but not going to the families, not going to actually the people who need the money or the funds. They're not going. They're not gaining it. They're not gaining it to the families themselves. All goes to the administration costs, goes to the advertisers. You see, all when he spent $20 on the William Ware project, uh, actually 98 cents of the $20 actually goes to the family. The rest of it's administration costs. And these guys drive Ferraris, Porsches, Lamborghinis, exotic planes, exotic trips to Vegas. How is that possible? Why is that? And they buy expensive yachts and $4 or $5 million homes. How is that possible? I don't understand it, and I get away with it, and there's nothing being done about it. Where's the justice at? Where's the justice system at, Mr. Joe Goldner or Mr. Coleman? Go ahead.
Well, the problem is it's perfectly legal. This kind of scandal has been going on for years.
Right.
Politicians have been using it for decades.
Mm-hmm.
And it starts off with campaigning funds and private hedge funds. And that's pretty much what's been going on with the way the judicial system looks at it is a person can go out and ask for money and say, hey, public, I need money for certain things. Mm-hmm. And if the public is stupid enough to give it to them, then there's really no legal recourse that could be taken. I looked at one particular case where the person had 8 babies and quadruplets or something like that, and people were donating money to them, and then it found out that the father was using that money to gamble and to spend it on other things. Now, I mean, when you give somebody something, it's a charitable donation. What they do with it from there on is pretty much up to that person. Mm-hmm. Now, we run a 501c3 nonprofit, but we run it pretty well tight grips. We make sure that the money goes towards the proper area where we say it would
right.
be. Now, if a nonprofit were to say, okay, well, if you give us $5, we'll give you this little teddy bear, mm-hmm. and then the teddy bear isn't given, now it's fraud. Or if you were to say that a nonprofit were to give them, like you're talking about with these quilts for $20, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, the William Ware blanket. The William Ware blanket, yeah, the blanket, yeah.
Okay, so a lot of these organizations are finding out that people won't give money unless they get something in return. Mm-hmm. So this way, if $20 is given, well, at least they got a blanket out of it or something. It's a shame the way people have drugged things through the system, and they do it in the name of operating expenses.
Right.
So this is how the big CEOs from Red Cross or from Salvation Army and these Unicliff is another one where they get paid $300,000-$400,000 year salaries for being CEOs on the board is because it's considered operating expenses.
Right.
Where the public can protect themselves is to look into these organizations before donating, make sure that this money is where it's supposed to be appropriated, and then just donate to certain charities for these certain reasons. There's money in this. Right. Absolutely. With our nonprofit, we have been fought against with certain organizations that have tried to keep us out, and for the simple reason is their board members make money, they get paid these salaries. Mm-hmm. And again, there is nothing in the state of South Dakota with our particular organization. There is no judicial oversight to make sure that these organizations are actually legitimate in doing what they say that they're doing.
Right.
It's a complaint has been filed without here, like we have the Attorney General's office where you can file a complaint, they will contact the organization and say, would you please clarify? A person is concerned about where this money is going to. With us, we're such small potatoes. We're just a peanut in the big game of the organizations that are out there that make far more. And by doing this as a small organization, we don't have to deal with all the paperwork. They asked us, did you make over $50,000 of donations this year? And we would say no if we haven't. And it would just, that's it. End of questions. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Right.
Anything over that, then they're concerned. Because it isn't really worth the government to do an audit on somebody. If it's, and a lot of these charitable donations, they deal with thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And they are legally in their right if they want to take and buy that Mercedes-Benz for their CEO or purchase that luxurious home in the Hamptons. And it's unfortunate. But the only way for people to protect themselves is to stop giving to these organizations that are exploiting people. And to do that, you have to start checking into things. And even the local charities at a certain local level do the same thing.
Right.
And it's just all in the name of operating expenses.